Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inspirational Interviews here in our Yoga and Ayurveda Facebook group. I'm really excited to share today's guest with you. Her name is Donna Brown. Before I bring her on, I would like to request that if you would like to ask a question, which I hope you will ask lots of questions in the chat, that you grant StreamYard permission for us to see your name so that we can see who you are. And then we can speak to you directly. So let me introduce Donna. So Donna guides women who are feeling stuck. She helps them dust off their dreams to step into their next chapter. She clears the energetic blocks, and together they clear the emotional blocks so her clients are able to uncover their true passions and find their joy. She believes it is never too late to reinvent yourself and live the life of your dreams. I totally agree. Donna is an intuitive coach, energy healer, Reiki master, crystal expert, and 3-time #1 best-selling author. Woohoo! That's awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Donna. Hello.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, welcome. I'm delighted to have you. So will you just start by telling us a little bit about who you are and what drew you to do this work that you're doing now?
Absolutely. And I will start by saying that what I do now was never even in my realm of consciousness. I had been a stay-at-home mom raising my kids, and who are now all in their 20s. And I loved being a mom, but I also hid behind that because I had this story that I told myself that I wasn't smart because I left college before graduating. And that kept me playing really small, and I was embarrassed by that. But we all have this journey, and there's a reason for it. And so in 2014, we were on a family vacation on the ocean, and my kids were all cliff jumping. My in-laws, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were all there. And I said, no, thank you. I'll take all your pictures. So for 2 hours, I sat there and took everyone's picture. And the window is only open for 2.5 hours because then the tide washes out and the sand is below the cliff. So it's a really small window. And my daughter said to me, she yelled across the rocks, Mom, you have to come do this. It's really not that scary. And so I thought, if I leave here without doing this, I'm going to go on to regret it. And I already had so many regrets. So I made my way around and I stood on the edge, toes hanging off. And I thought, okay, 1, 2, 3. Took the deepest breath I could and I jumped. And I came out of the water, fist in the air and screaming, I did it. And it was this life-changing, shifting moment. I could feel the energy shift in that moment. I came out of the water feeling like a completely different person with courage and confidence. And 2 weeks later, I had already planned to be at a one-day workshop with a woman who would become my coach, who I worked with through that first year. And because I knew something else had to keep shifting, I couldn't stay where I was. And I just kept saying yes to myself. And I spent that first year sort of uncovering and discovering who I was and building my dreams. And then the next year, I started to implement all of those visions and new visions that just would show up because I was in that space of receiving.
Yeah.
And so within 18 months from that point, I had become a Reiki master, a crystal expert, a mindset coach. I wrote my first of 3 chapters that summer, and my life is completely different. And no, I had no vision of being here now, but it is this amazing space that I get to support other women who are looking for something more or just need some encouragement or tools or a way to go through whatever they're going through.
Yeah. I think that's so beautiful, that point of being like, is this it? Like, is this all there is? And a lot of people are at that point, but then don't know like what it is that's calling to them. And in the yogic philosophy, we call that dharma, or like, what are you here for? What's your purpose or your calling or the role that you're destined to play in this life? And you might be in a job or in a role in your life that doesn't feel quite aligned, like it's not using your best gifts, or you don't feel totally fulfilled by it, right? That there's the desire for something else, but it almost, I think a lot of people say that, feel, or they tell themselves that it's selfish to want something more. And I love that you had like a catalytic experience that was just like, boom, you know, it was changing for you. And I think a lot of people need the invitation to step into that space of, oh, there's more, you know? So I love that happened for you in a epiphany experience.
It was unbelievable. And I would also like to say, I could talk for an hour just on this topic. We're going to talk about energy today. Yeah. But I do want to say on that note that, you know, for me, the cliff appeared because I couldn't stay where I was. Mm-hmm. So for anyone else, that cliff appears when the pain of staying where you are is greater than the fear. And that could be anything. You know, mine was an actual physical leap. But for anyone else, it could be a phone call. It could be saying yes to an opportunity, to trying something new, to a relationship. It can look like anything.
Right. Yeah. The obstacle is the way, right? Like there it is.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. So will you describe a little bit more about what you do in your work now?
Absolutely. So, you know, I had a lot of taglines after my name, and that's because I'm so passionate about all the different ways that I can support my clients. So I am a mindset coach and focusing on dusting off the dreams. I am, and it's intuitive work, and I'm an intuitive energy healer with my main modality being Reiki. And so this is what I'm going to talk about today is the energy and how we protect it and clear it. And I'll go into that deeper. But I love the instantaneous feelings of the shifts that my clients feel right after the Reiki sessions, because I'm literally changing their energy through Reiki, releasing the blocks, clearing the blocks, clearing the pathways. That's what Reiki really is. It clears the energetic blocks in our body.
Yeah.
And I wrote that first chapter in my story through total fear. I was telling a story that I had kept a secret. You know, only the people who knew me at the time knew that part of my story. Because as I said, I hid behind being a mom.
Yeah.
And I did it through fear because deep down I knew that if I could help one person, it would be worth it. And then I got an email a week after someone read my story and said, I was looking for a sign. And when I saw you were from Baltimore, I knew that was it. Can you coach me? I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. So like, it was, okay. That's what I was supposed to have done. And I keep, every time I have that intuitive hit, I say yes to something, to an opportunity, to doing something new. It's truly been life-changing.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
So life-changing for you and also life-changing for your clients. Why are you so passionate about what you do?
Because I know the power of it. I know that if we can take the time to really go inward, to say yes to yourself, that anybody can have that shift. It's available to all of us as long as we are open to saying yes.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about energy healing and Reiki. How do they work?
So we all operate on a vibrational level, right? There's positive and there's negative. We are high vibration and low vibration. Now, first of all of this terminology was completely new to me. I'm going to talk about energy alignment. And the only thing I knew about alignment prior to this work was that my tires need to be aligned. Yeah. Like, in no frame of reference did it apply to me. So, you know, I think people often talk about balance, but to me, balance is like carrying a tray and not spilling the glasses. I used to be a waitress in a former life. And like, you know, so people, I think, confuse balance and alignment. So we're going to talk about alignment today. But what was the original question? So vibration, high vibration, low vibration. Is that where we started?
Well, I just asked you to tell us what energy work and Reiki are.
Okay.
Give us a little intro.
So I did describe Reiki a little bit. It's about removing those energetic blocks. And when I first learned about Reiki and learned that you could send it by distance, I was so skeptical. How in the world is that possible? I didn't know anything about energy work. And I immediately had results when I first was able to practice it on others. And it was practice because I had to see if I could actually do it. I had no clue if I could. And the first time I recruited a few friends and I said, I want to send this to you. Tell me if you feel anything. And a friend in California said, oh my gosh, how did you know that my back hurt? I'm like, I didn't. Another friend locally, how did you know? Oh my God, my right hip feels better. How did you know that? I didn't. It's the energy that flows where the blockages are. So I'm the facilitator, but I don't control it. I mean, I can direct it, but it flows and it releases the blockages in the body. So when I have a Reiki session, I actually scan my client. And when I hit resistance from head down, I know that's where the block is. And that's where I focus on. And then until it clears, until it's a smooth transition. And it's an amazing thing, and energy can be anything. I also use my pendulum, which is based on energetic responses. I ask it a yes or no for anything and everything. Should I do this interview? Should I take this class? Should I take this trip? Can I eat this? I have food allergies. Will it be safe? Will I feel good if I eat this? Should I take this opportunity? Is this the right time? Yes or no? My pendulum knows. Oh, that rhymes. I like that. So it's so fascinating to me. And the more I dig in, the more amazing. I'm truly surprised almost every day about what I uncover and the ways that I can support others on this journey.
Yeah, it's powerful. Powerful. Yeah, you did a session with me and David a while ago, and Donna reported that all of my chakras were blocked.
But then they were cleared by the end. I aligned them.
Right. But then they were cleared. And then that night I slept because it was right before we went to bed that we did our session. But then the next night I was like wired. And I was like, what is going on? And Donna was like, it might be like energy releasing in your body. Anyway, it was really amazing. So what is one thing? Do you want to talk about the chart now, or do you want to talk about like what people can incorporate into their lives?
Why don't we talk about the chart, because we just touched on alignment. So let's look at that.
Okay, I'm bringing up the chart here.
So this is, while you're doing that, I'll explain. This is the Wheel of Life. So I studied under Jack Canfield, the success principles, and he talks about, so this is an adaptation. I think originally he had 10 quadrants. I reduced it to 8. And if you can't read them, they are health, romance, and a partner, money, personal development, physical environment, fun and recreation, family and friends, and career. And so, if we were to say it was a balanced life, and the way you do this is in the center of the circle is the least amount that you feel aligned with it. And to the outer circle, if the pie segment is full, then you are feeling like you are operating at the highest level in that area. So I don't know anybody whose circle is completely filled in. The question is, and I'll just hold this up for a minute. I just did this and I didn't even look at the things. I was just doing it as an illustration. So if you look at this one and career is important to you, but it's not even filled up to a 2, but yet your, fun and recreation is filled all the way.
Let me highlight you. How do I do that?
I think, well, I'm on half the screen now, so it's a little bit clearer. But you can see that none of the segments are the same level, except for a couple. But if you want this one to be, if this is important to you, but yet this one is where most of your attention is going and is the most fulfilled, then there are adjustments that need to be made. So it's a good way to, and I sent a blank one to Hannah so she can share that with you, so you can really look at your own life and see if you are in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if where you are spending your time or where you are focusing is not in alignment with where you want to go, then you have a visual. I'm a very visual person, so things like this really speak to me. Then you know where you need to focus. You know, maybe a little bit less in this area and more in another area. So we talked a little bit about vibrational energy. I want to just touch on that some more, because that to me is really how we can show up and play fully.
Mm-hmm. Do you want this still up?
No, we can take that down.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll be getting, you can send that or share that in your group with them.
Yeah.
So I mentioned how we all operate on a vibrational frequency. So people who are high vibrational, are positive and optimistic, and they see the bright side of things and they find the good in everything. People who are low vibration tend to be negative and they complain and they may gossip. So the quickest two ways you can raise your vibration is through gratitude and meditation. Quickest way. So I recommend showing gratitude first thing in the morning before your feet even hit the floor, and the last thing at night, because we ruminate on whatever we think about before we go to sleep. So if you're thinking about all the things you're grateful for, then more will show up in your life. So getting back to protecting your energy and why this is so important, when we are, because everyone has a vibrational level, we are open to, we want to match the vibration of the people that we are with. So first of all, I would say, look who's in your circle, look who you're spending a lot of time with, and if they come into the category of lower vibration because they're negative or complain, then the tendency is for us to match that person. So if you want to be high vibration and they're low, the tendency is for you to match that. So in order to keep your vibration up, you need to meditate and show gratitude, do your gratitude, but also protect your energy so that you don't receive their energy, because we are very susceptible to being influenced by other people's energy. So to protect your energy, the few ways that I recommend, one is to just wrap yourself in light, like visualize a light surrounding you. I've also heard the visualization of using bubble wrap, which makes me laugh. Complete bubble wrap. And the third one, which is my favorite that most people use, is if you've ever seen one of those giant plastic inflatable balls that people go inside and then it's for sport and they bounce off each other. So if you do that and you visualize anything that someone says or an environment that doesn't energetically align with you, it just deflects off. It hits that giant ball and bounces off, so it doesn't penetrate your sphere. And I encourage you to sort of notice how you are before you do this, and then after, if this is a ritual that you adopt. And it makes a huge difference. And I know instantly if I have forgotten to do it, it's like, oh, shoot, I forgot to put my bubble on. And then I just visualize wrapping myself up completely. Now, it's also important to release all the energy that does not belong to you. And I just visualize doing this. I personally, one of my daily rituals is taking a shower at the end of the day. So at night, it's the last thing I do before I go to sleep. And I visualize the water coming down through my crown chakra, just washing through my body and going down the drain, all that energy that is not mine, that does not serve me, and visually wipe my limbs clean and visualize that energy going down the drain. It is the most cleansing experience, the most cleansing ritual, because even if I miss a spot, it's the intention. And as far as I believe, what I believe is that the intention, no matter what we do, is the most important piece to it. So if my intention is to release all the energy that does not serve me, then that is what I'm doing. The other thing that I incorporate is, so I also work with crystals. And when I first learned to work with crystals have energy. And we were taught that, You have to clear the energy from them, and sound vibration is the most universal way to do that. And so I went out and bought myself some tincture bells, which I totally love, but I would often do my work after my family went to bed. They would not be happy with me to ring my tincture bells. So I ended up finding a tuning fork, which is the most amazing sound to me. I love the vibration of it. I often put it on my chakras. I find it very soothing and comforting. It also works to align the vibration. So this is a great tool to do that, tuning fork.
Yeah, we have one of those.
Oh my gosh, love, 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 love it.
Yeah.
So those are two ways to clear negative energy. After sage is another one. Sage your space. Because not only do we need to clear the energy, but our space needs to clear the energy. So doing sage in your home or your work environment, whichever feels good to you, is also important. Now, we started by talking about being in alignment, and for some who are not familiar with that term, it may show up for you as feeling off, or just not quite yourself, or you're having trouble getting tasks done, or your day doesn't go as planned and it's hard to focus or concentrate. Those are typically ways that it shows up when you are out of alignment. And again, ground yourself. Actually, I mentioned that, but grounding yourself is a great way to feel aligned. Grounding yourself into Mother Earth, planting your feet flat on the floor, going outside into Mother Nature barefoot and putting your feet in the grass. Personally, for me, if I am near water, that's my go-to. I love being at the beach, walking on the sand, going into the water and feeling the power of Mother Nature. I find that to be the most cleansing of all. And a waterfall is the absolute best, because then you're getting the power of the water, plus it's hitting your crown chakra, and it is so powerful in shifting your energy. So those are all different ways that you can shift your energy. And I'm very in tune with my body and my energy. So I know when I'm off. I know when I need to just sit back, take a deep breath. That's another thing. There are meditating for a minimum of 3 minutes, just to give yourself, it's sort of a reset. Visualizing yourself, grounding yourself with feet on the earth, and picture, if you do that, picture roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, and then the energy rising up through your crown chakra. And that in and of itself can be a very cleansing experience, and just sit in that for a few minutes. Journaling is another way to sort of reset, and honor yourself. Truly honor yourself and get to know where you feel, what you are doing when you feel the most at peace with yourself, when you feel like everything is flowing easily. That is what being in alignment is like, when you feel grounded and at peace. You know, again, time in Mother Nature for me is the most beneficial. We have big, huge trees in our backyard. We have bamboo. And honestly, I could sit there for a long time, and I do every day, just watching the bamboo sway and the clouds pass overhead. And we had a big storm last night. We just sat there watching it. And it's so grounding to know that we are this one piece, part of this enormous puzzle of the world, and just feeling aligned with Mother Nature. And move your body. That's another thing. Move your body. You know, as a yoga instructor, you know the importance of that, and feeling grounded and centering. So those are all the ways that I think I touched on everything, and I talked really fast, so hopefully everybody got that. But
You're getting some appreciation in the chat.
Oh, good. Are there any questions? Or
there are no questions right now. You all send in questions if you'd like. We just have a couple more minutes with Donna. So.
Yeah, or clarification if I said something that you need me to explain it a slightly different way, or.
Yeah. So what is it that you want everyone to know? Is it this connection with nature is what gives us realignment, or is there?
Well, it is. I want everyone to know that, number one, it's never too late to change your situation. You know, I leaped off that cliff. I was 51 years old. So it is never too late. Not that that's old, but it's never too late. We can always shift. There's always space to learn something new, to learn a new technique, to learn a new way.
I love that. Yeah.
So,
yeah, so much of what you're sharing aligns with Ayurveda and yoga too, in terms of understanding the energy, the koshas, the 5 energy bodies, and also behavioral science, like you're talking about it in terms of energy, but also just knowing that like our habits are not our own, that we actually have the habits of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So we need to really choose wisely who we're interacting with. And vibrationally, that makes sense too, right? Like we want to be around people that bring us up, not bring us down, and people that are having the conversations we want to have and doing the activities in their lives that interest us. Yeah,
absolutely. And I want to give the listeners, the viewers, permission that I think "should" is a dirty word.
Mm-hmm.
I think people, I used to do things because I should do them. And I did that because that were other people's expectations of me. Mm-hmm. And so I think whatever we do, it has to be, there's this word alignment again. It has to be in alignment with our values. It has to be fulfilling our life's purpose. And if it's not, life is short. Mm-hmm. So do what makes your heart happy. Do what makes you feel good. Connect with those that light you up and make you a better person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So use this chart that we're going to share from Donna, and you can take inventory of where you are with these different components of your life and where you might want to put some energy that you're not right now.
Exactly.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that with us. And will you share with everybody where they can find you if they're interested in learning more about what you do?
Sure. So my website has everything that I do and I talk about, DonnaBrownDesigns.com. It's also, when you get the flyer, the wheel, my contact info is on the bottom. So my email address is Donna@DonnaBrownDesigns.com. And it's my privilege to speak with you today. So I'm really grateful for that, for the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today and giving us that resource with the little tracker of the different areas of our lives. And I think we still don't have any questions, but I think everybody really appreciated it. So thanks for being here today, Donna. We're really grateful. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.